all of the things that you take for granted, there are people who are sitting and praying to have them. Things that you don't even care, man. Let's say you're struggling over your ex, you're struggling over finances. It wakes you up in the middle of the night. How am I going to pay the bills? Who's with my ex? The solution is to upgrade the model of the world. Depression is because I want the world to be a certain way, but the reality is something else. Every thought that you have, it changes the chemistry of your blood and releases hormones. Emotions are very addictive, just like alcohol, just like sugar. If you have that in your system without realizing, you become that dude who's always sad or the guy who's always down. Semi-positive as well. You're somewhere in this spectrum. During the day, you just go from left to right, right to left. We want to be able to go to the blue and stay there. For example, I wake up in the morning, I'm in red. You know why there's anxiety when you wake up? When you go to bed, the blood sugar drops and anxiety goes up when the blood sugar is dropping. That's why I say you have a fruit on top of your bed. When you wake up, first thing, have a bite, take 10 deep breaths and have a glass of water. You instantly feel better. But I want to talk to you about how to fundamentally fix it. So most of the time you're towards the blue. It's insanely important to be clean, keep your body clean. One of my friends' dad, he had a heart attack because of smoking. When doctor told him 1 more cigarette, you're dead. And 2 days later, they found him in the stairs of the hospital with a cigarette in his hands and he died. If you want to feel better, this is non-negotiable. You gotta have a really, really good lifestyle. We all want to have more of this. We all want to feel better, be more healthy, be stronger, have a pile of cash and get better quality of love and sex. But if the mindset is off, it's not gonna happen. Obviously, the stronger your mindset, the less things that are outside of you will affect you. The problem with what I just said is that most people don't hear this. What do you mean inside? What do you mean your thoughts? Okay, I'm meditating. Okay, whatever. It's not working. Fix the inner world. Let me tell you what it means. Let's say you're struggling over your ex, you're struggling over finances. It wakes you up in the middle of the night. How am I going to pay the bills? Who's with my ex? The guy who struggles, he tries to fix the wrong problem. They think that the problem is the breakup, or the problem is the relationship, or the problem is the job. The problem is something else. It's always inner. No woman can ever keep you happy. You're looking at the wrong problem. If you don't really understand the real problem, you will continue to remain dependent on a woman unless you're able to detach from that woman. And that's something that it will probably annoy the hell out of you to hear that. It'll probably make you feel like, I don't want to hear it. I want to get my girl back. That's a step one to get there. There is a blueprint to get there. There's a blueprint to understand this. You can think about marriage. That's awesome in sickness and health. Until death do us apart. 2 years later, they want to kill each other. The only thing you can rely on is yourself. If he gets you, we put you in a jail, and that jail is 2 feet by 2 feet. We keep you in that thing. You're going to feel depressed because it's small. You can't move. All you want is to be out of here. So what we do, we take you out of there. We put you in a 10 by 10. A great ocean view. You're going to feel great. For a few hours, you're going to be like, holy fuck, this is awesome. We give you great food. We even give you a really pretty girl. You have a good time. In a few days, you say, dude, this is so small. It's only 10 by 10. All right, cool. We take you out of there. We put you on 100 by 100. The best ocean view. We throw 3 amazing women there. We give you your ex-girlfriend. We give you good food. Then after a few days, you say, dude, it's only 100 by 100. I need to get out of here. These people are making me crazy. Now we put you on the fucking planet. You can go anywhere you want. You can do anything you want. Still, we find something not to be happy. The problem is not the outside. If you want to always feel good, you got to somehow get yourself there to realize it's in your head. Sometimes the girl says, hey, I love you, but I'm currently seeing somebody else. Oh, I want to be with you. They make plans, but she doesn't show up. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not available emotionally, but I want to be with you. The dude knows my friend's dad that I told you. He smoked. He knew smoke's going to kill him, but he just wasn't disciplined enough to quit. You might be here. If you're not feeling great, you wake up, first thing you think about is, fuck, my ex. Every thought that you have, it immediately changes the chemistry of your blood. Emotions are very addictive, just like alcohol, just like sugar, just like anything else. And if you have that in your system without realizing, you become that dude who's always sad or the guy who's always down. Now, let me show you these very quickly. First thing, beware of the overdrive happening inside of you right now. I wanted to write down, also investigate that inner voice. Write down everything you think about, all those thoughts, that internal dialogue, because you talk to yourself more than you talk to anybody else. And that conversation is fucking crazy. Let's say you're with a woman, your relationship is not that strong, but you really love her. And you have these things you tell yourself, like, fuck, what if we get closer to each other? What if she moving with me? Or fuck, what if she likes somebody else? What if things don't go anywhere? Or you think about money, fuck, what if next year I pay this much taxes, then I have to do this? What if next year I make 400K? What if next year I make $1 million? What if next year I lose my job? Write down those, because they're happening in the background. 60, 70,000 thoughts every day happening in the background. We think we know them. The most dangerous thing is that the guy thinks he knows it. It's like semi-aware of it, but it's still there. Write it down so you can stare it in the eye. Another thing that can completely change your life is to block future and block the past. You can take today's pain, like Alex, if you have a really bad day, it's because you're not now, you're living in 10 years from now or 10 days from now, you're thinking about, fuck, what if you want to move towards a spectrum, you should do this. Go to the house for old people. That's going to be us one day. Take a good look at it. One of my mentors says, Ben, every Sunday, I sit 10 minutes and think about my mortality. That's the only way to bring awareness to what you have, to just be right here, right now. I used to hate people, man. I used to like find every guy as a competition when I was in Australia. This is the year 2006. I used to think, fuck, man, these fucking Aussies, they look at me, they're racist and don't like them. It was taking so much energy. Then I learned to look at everybody as my brothers and sisters, to look at everybody as family. When I say block future, you can just take that out of today's call. Just block future. Just block the future, because all of the anxiety is because of future. Look at your life. You have this luxury to sit here and go on a live Zoom class. We focus on the 3% of the things that are bad in our life, and we forget about the 97% that's fucking fantastic. One thing I never understood what Tony Robbins keeps saying, oh, write the list of gratitude. Write the list of things that you're grateful for. I'm like, dude, why? Why do I need to do that? Until I wrote it. And I realized, oh, fuck. Look, these little things, they open your eyes. I can write you a list right now, or any of you can do it. You won't believe what is in your list. And all of the things that you take for granted, there are people who are sitting and praying to have them. Things that you don't even care, man. Sadhguru says, I wish you to have a very bad disease that takes you close to death and keeps you there for a few days with a lot of pain, then you recover. Only then you start appreciating. Only then you stop bitching about your ex. There's a lot of wisdom in that. Beware of what you're doing to yourself, knowing that she will never come to you unless you love yourself. I don't believe you love yourself, man. You never treat your ex the way you're treating yourself. You never be this unkind to her the way you're unkind to yourself, the way you do this to yourself, the way you put yourself through this. Ironically, that's one reason she doesn't want to be around. You would not do what you're doing to yourself to your ex or to people that you love. Do you want your ex to go through this? Fuck no. You would do anything that she wouldn't feel this pain. You would do anything that she wouldn't go through what you're doing to yourself. I've done that. It's not that you're a bad person. I've done this so many times to myself. Like, I took myself through things, and I had a psychologist, her name was Jenny. She once told me, she said, Ben, you know, all of these things, I hadn't eaten, I lost so much weight. She was telling me, like, Ben, do you want Carly to feel what you're feeling right now? I said, fuck no. And he said, why do you do this to yourself then? That's the relationship. I wanted to always think there is like a little 4-year-old guy right next to you. And every time you go up through the pain and misery and you have bad thoughts about your ex, it's like you're slapping that little kid in the face. And yeah, you're punching that kid. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And I want to be very aware of that one. Sign that contract with yourself that I will never again put myself through this. This is one of the greatest things I did with Mark Togney. While I was sitting in front of him, this is in Australia, Mark said, Ben, if you want to get over this relationship, if you want to move on from this girl, if you want to have a strong mind, you have to pick a vow. What do you mean vow? He said, you need to have a vow for your life. And I said, what can it be? He said, it could be anything. And I said, dude, I just don't ever want to feel like this ever again. It was dark, man. It was dark. You need to have that contract with yourself. You need to write down whatever, write your darkest feeling, sign a contract. I will never again want to feel like this, ever. One of my friends, I'm going to see him next week in Saturday in France. He has an open relationship with his wife. And I told him, dude, you used to be so jealous. What happened? You were so sensitive. He said, Ben, I just can't do it anymore. I just can't do this to myself anymore. Every time he travels as an engineer, they send him to Milan, they send him to all over Europe. They cannot just get divorced that easy. There's a lot of things going on. He said, I just one day decided I'm not going to be jealous anymore. I'm just not going to do this to myself. You know what he did? He just changed his belief. You remember the first thing that I showed you here? This. He changed his model of the world with the reality that was happening. Because if your woman wants to cheat, she will cheat. So you have a choice. You either divorce and go separate ways, or you change how you see about it. I know a lot of people who are in open relationships. I'm not saying if it's good or bad. He changed the model of the world. And he just signed that contract. I'm not going to hurt myself over Lucy anymore because of this. I'm not going to do that to myself. And this is what Dale Carnegie also talks about. He said, put a stop loss. If you do stock market, you put a stop loss order. You won't go lower than a point. I want to put that for yourself. You need that. And this is not something you forget. You do it every minute of every day. There are self-love mantras. These are, yes, it is positive thinking session. You need to sit with yourself. I was just talking to my mom before, and she was telling me how she's fixing these problems, and she's talking about how to help that person and how to do this. Overdrive. And I said, you got to sit down. You got to spend 1 hour a day. Only think about the good things. If you're constantly thinking about money, constantly thinking about your growth, constantly thinking about your debt, just imagine how much energy it sucks. Remember I talked to you about beautiful energy? You have 100 units every day. Just imagine what happens with writing these self-love mantras and daily positive thinking session. You add to those units of energy. Most people don't do it. This should be the first thing that you do in the morning, what you do after lunch, and what you do before bed. You need to do this. This is incredible, man. These affirmations, if you want to feel better, man, these are the things I do every day. If I don't do this, I won't be able to do any of the things that I do. So take advantage of this. No stimulants. You got to go cold turkey, man. I don't even negotiate. I know I talk to guys sometimes, they show up with a vape and they hide the vape, or they drink, or they do self-destructive behavior. That issue with alcohol only makes it worse. I'm not even talking about the money that you spend on alcohol. That's probably nothing. When the poison goes in your system, it changes your central nervous system, and it changes how you think. It creates more anxiety, and you wake up worse, and it's addictive, and it does a lot of bad things. You got to make that decision in your life. Look at James Hetfield from Metallica. The dude is 59-year-old. He looks like fucking 70. He's suddenly broke. We have to get to a point that our only challenge is the thought addiction, so we can focus on that. If you bring other stimulants, some of you guys, I know you take antidepressants, that pushes us far from the real problem. So don't take it easy on yourself, man. This is not just another drink, or it's not just another smoke. A lot of people don't educate themselves. It's all that fucking path of least resistance. If you're obsessed, go read every single book on love obsession. The Codependent No More. I gave you a big list of them here. Let me show you. I put it here. I've put a list together for pretty much any problem that you could have as a dude. These three, the Facing Love Addiction, Codependent No More, and the Language of Letting Go, you got to educate yourself on this. I've put this, let me show you here. I'm putting a new course for you here, and the course is High Performance Project. The videos are already there. I'm moving it here as well. I'm going to show you how to get these things done. For example, Miles, I know you're super busy, or Charles, I know you're super busy. You will have time to be able to do those things, but you got to do this, man. It's just unbelievable. The guy tells me, Ben, I'm suffering with finances. Then I give them a solution that requires 20 days, just 20 days of doing what I tell him to do, so he can start making like 3,000-4,000 a month. He doesn't do the work. It just blows my mind. Don't take it easy on yourself. Next thing, exercise. I don't even need to talk about exercise. If you exercise, you know how endorphin affects you. Do these things first thing, so you don't feel tired at the end of the day. You need to get leverage of this. It's really important. Every day, listen to this. Every day, listen to this. This is, here, it looks like this. The Happy Mind. I'm going to put the link here as well. If you haven't listened to this, awesome book. Really, really great. These are just simple rituals. Purpose. I love the example of money, because we could all use some more money. If you are not making 20K a month, we got a problem. If you're talking to me and you don't hammer me, you don't keep asking me every day, Ben, how should I do it? How should I do it? How should I do it? Then it's on you, because you see what I do. And I offered yesterday how you can do it. If you have money, you can help. You can build things that you want. You can bring people on board. You can support people. You can do things that you want. Then you can create what you want to create. My goal always in life was to fight alcohol, fight anxiety, fight addiction, fight gambling, fight all these things that are bad for people. But I had to be a software engineer for some time. It sucked because I didn't have money, so I couldn't do this. I was in Dubai last year. I called my mom and said, can you believe I'm in the biggest furniture shop, and for the first time in my life, I can buy anything I want. You know what a good feeling it is when you have that? It's not about the money. It's about knowing that now you have the ability to do what you're supposed to do. All of you, I think Charles, I know, is probably doing what he loves to do, but all of you can do things like Cody, I know you can fucking change the world somehow. Yeah, I know there's things you can do, but you're stuck because of money. So you have to pay the fucking bills. Because of that, you don't get to do this. And you don't even have time to sit and think, oh, what do I want to do? That's what they say about the graveyard is a sad place, not because there's dead bodies, it's because there's unflourished talents. That's the problem with that. Find your fucking purpose, man. You need the money for that. One last thing. I want daily updates. I cannot hold everybody accountable here, but I want daily updates. I want to do something for me. At the end of the day, each day, I want to send me daily updates and include 3 things. It really takes you 5 minutes, not more than 5 minutes. I want to send me 3 things. What did you do? What results you got? The problems and challenges and questions. If you do this, I can help you with your relationship, with your finances, with your mindset. I cannot give you any exercises or things like that, but with these, I can help you. I want to do this, and remember, most important thing, everything that I told you is a daily practice. When I say sit down and write down that list of things that build you more units of positive energy, I know most guys don't do it, but that's something you're going to do every day. Every day. And you need to strengthen your mind every day, because everything else around you, man, your job, driving the car, talking to people, everything just takes energy. You need to create energy for you to be able to use the energy. If you don't create the energy consciously with this list that is here, then you will only be consumed every day. Only be consumed. Your mind will fight against you. People fight against you. System fight against you. Finances fight against you. So take this list, print it, work it. When you finish working on this list, then you'll be good to go. Then you become pretty much desensitized to whatever is happening around.